What is a dream team? Well, I mean, in this, right, we kind of look at it in terms of no one really succeeds alone. And so in this, you have to create a collaborative environment around you with people. I touched on it a little bit ago in terms of kind of a new recent favorite book of mine of like Who Not How, or called Who Not How by Dan Sullivan. Great book. Really just kind of helps shift your thinking around sort of how am I going to get this done, or how can I get there? It becomes who do I need to know? Who do I need to become to get these things done? And so through all this, right, you're going to need all of your people, your service partners, contractors, vendors, in order to get there in your real estate investing goal. Some of those people are going to certainly pop up to be more superstars in the world maybe than others. But the goal is really just to create that group of who's that you can call on.
Who have you found? So it talks about superstars here as people that are not only performing a service, but they're connecting with other people, or they're driving referrals. Who in your network is a superstar? Is like an unlikely superstar?
Gosh, certainly like there's past clients, but I just had a phone call with a like heavy equipment vendor who kind of grades land and stuff like that, who just called to put me on to a deal that she had. One of my lending partners that I use will either pass along clients or like deal opportunities. Hey, this came across my desk. It doesn't work for me, but maybe it might work for you. Yeah. Which then I'll take a look at and kind of shop around. So some of those people have shown immensely helpful.
Who's someone that drives opportunities in your world that's not, let's say, a mortgage broker or like a title company? Who else is someone in your world that's just drives referrals to you or opportunities, introduces you to people?
Anybody that's used me in the past.
Yeah.
No, it's a relationship. Whoever I maintain a relationship with, and whoever I feel comfortable asking the question. I just had my best friend from high school. His daughter just passed away, and he's got another daughter. His daughter was just turned 19. She died of cancer. His other daughter took the year off to take care of her while she's dying, and is about to go back to UT. And I know it's a weird, long story, but he texted me this afternoon and said, "Hey, my daughter's coming back up. She's going to start UT. Who do you know who?" She's pre-vet. Who do you know who can get her a part-time job? So I happened to sit down and scroll through my Facebook and thought of 10 people that have some connection with either pet grooming or, whatever, working at a clinic or whatever. And so I was able to reach out to all those people. Number one, it's a touch. That's not, "Hey, I'm Rob, would you like to buy a house?" And, hopefully it's doing a help. And it's a reminder that, here's somebody in the community who cares and whatever. So it kind of accomplished the whole thing.
I love it. For me, it's I got a childhood friend who's a designer who owns a cabinet company, and that continuously is generating opportunities. Right, I'm listing a property, it's 1.7 million right now. That's a to be completed project. Where she called me to come in and do it. She's sending me properties she sees on Zillow. Right, she's if she's out there in cabinet, she's keeping me in there. There are people out there, so it can be that. Landscapers are great, can be a great one for referrals. Just who in your world is going to drive opportunity if you're an investor? Like who out there is going to be that person that's going to let people know if they're going on a job that here's a person. Hey, I know someone that'll buy your place. I know someone that's looking for it. Right, those are those superstars in your world. But then they're going to take you and expand your opportunities for you.
Just to the next level. Yes. So we talk about kind of identifying those people. This is a big one for me. Just be one, right? We truly believe like just givers gain. So another great book reference called The Go Giver, which is another one too. Just if you follow Gary Vee, right? It's all just kind of his tactic of just jab, right?
How many vendors are in your database right now, Cory?
Vendors?
Yeah. How many people do you think? If you don't know Cory just like gets more excited about talking to people sometimes and closing the deal. Success of real estate. Yeah. No, really, it'll be just excited. I met this person and they're a painter and their sister was from Oregon and just great. Learn,
probably 100 plus.
Yeah.
I think through there. And it's just a continual game of like connecting you to you. Like I've got to connect you to somebody that I know needs some help. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
I literally just talked to her an hour ago, kind of thing. That
Oh,
when she asked, and I was like,
oh, thank you.
No problem.
do I
Thank
need
you.
to go
Awesome.
there?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
So really just be one, right?
Yes.
Is being that one to complete that circle, of being able to be that super connector. And I found that the more I do that, then just the more opportunities kind of flow back
Mhm.
is been my biggest experience in it all.
So you're in sales, have you ever been in the networking group like BNI or something like that? You're not missing anything. Just checking, just for frame reference. It's being intentional about passing referrals, right? Being a source of referrals, being a source of business, being a source for advice. Like in a network, one of the most important people you can be in a network, right, is a node. If you're a node of connecting the other people in the network, that's super valuable, super valuable. I've got a position just off of doing that, like nationally, I'm just connecting other people. And I thought about it last year, and it's fiduciary friendship. It's meeting people, taking the time to really consult with them, which sounds fancy, but just, hey, what's going on in your world? Like, who are you? What are you into? Like, what do you need in your life? A lot of people can't articulate that. Like helping them figure out what they're looking for. Okay, hey, fantastic. And then kind of actively hunting for opportunity of like, oh, you do landscape design, you need to meet because you guys should just go together like PB and J. I don't have to be involved in that sandwich. Like how, if I can make those connections, it'll come back. What we find, right?
I'll be jam.
So I think what Cory's really good at doing, right, is connecting people around you and like, what's an example you can think of recently of just making this connection and seeing it kind of come back full circle with other people? I see you do this all the time.
Yeah, God, I mean, certainly like I'd say connecting vendors. One I hope to do, right, is just connecting kind of to
Sure.
this gal who I know was doing some heavy equipment work for rentals that also now needs help on her place. And then now you also, I mean, it all needs to go to you.
I can think
See
of
where
one.
all that.
You did it for me. You did it for me. There's a guy, David Kearns, that built Richmond
yeah.
Orchard, built this tiny home community. And how'd you meet him?
Knocking on doors, actually, weirdly enough. I was shown property next to that development, Richmond Orchard. Happened upon it, had no idea it ever existed there. Finished my showing at a house like next door. Saw these things, I'm like, this is a trip. So I just went and knocked on the first house in there. Nice young lady answered the door. I was like, hey, it's real estate. I don't mean to be weird, but like, what is this community that you've got going on here? She told me about it. She's like, the guy is actually here. They're finishing up one like down the way. Like, cool, thanks, appreciate it. And just buzzed over there and just introduced myself. Said hi. He was like cutting checks, guys chasing him around. I just was one of those people kind of following around, like, bro, what are you doing? Right? Can we exchange info? Like, this is too cool. So then, yeah, when you guys were looking at
So one of my friends who's a contractor said he wanted to build houses. I was like, bet, I've got this guy's phone number because Cory has it. Called him up and took him to lunch and introduced the contractor to him. And they went and they built houses,
Yeah, you hooked me up with Brad.
Yeah.
He's building two of our homes.
There we go.
Mhm.
Yeah, who I got connected with through, I forget to connect with Brad, ex-girlfriend actually.
He's a great guy.
Ex-girlfriend
I
direct.
love working with him. I mean, I like him.
Sure.
Well, his ex-girlfriend or your ex-girlfriend?
My they own this like biking, they're all like bikers. He owned like a bike like mechanic shop and I guess whatever. So that's how Brad knows. Them. Do that motorcycle connection.
Tell us about your personal life and all your history.
You don't know me. I thrive on attention.
Oh,
But no, I mean, just as much as like it doesn't really matter what the source is. But anyways, yes, that's an example of like just banking this stuff without like a deliberate plan of being mercenary. If you're in this world, you're taking deliberate action. If you take enough swings, you will find yourself at the center of all kinds of business.
Yeah.
That, no matter what you're doing, if you can just get yourself in the hub there. And we've got some stuff we can do that.
just being intentional about it. So kind of
Yes.
some potential of the members, we touched on them a little bit. Certainly your settlement agents, right? Your real estate attorneys, your agents, your contractors,
What's a settlement agent?
wholesalers, as the person who's going to be processing and handling your closings there.
Yeah, so whoever's doing your closer at your title company is a great resource, right? Even in the title company, they broke it down to 3 different ones. Title company itself, right? Because if you look at Admiral, they've got a ton of other staff there.
Yeah.
And we've got, it's Cody, right? Yeah, so Cody got our real estate attorneys.
Yeah.
Oh, no, real estate attorney out here, sorry. The state attorneys. So hard money lenders, we know some of them.
We know a handful of those, right? Staging companies help make your places look nice as well. And they're also getting called at other, say, jobs that, again, just becomes a continual referral source. Aaron does awesome for us, got all of our stager.
Yeah, what about suppliers? Anybody got any good vendor relationships? Supplier
Well, I found my
relationships?
siding guy through my wholesale siding supplier.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I love him. I went out and looked at his work today and I'm like, that's the level of precision I'm looking for.
Yeah.
It looked awesome, you know?
And then other life, I was a roofer. And so you get in with those guys, you get in tight with and still I see Pedro still pulls deals because he's in tight with a bunch of these supply guys over there. So those supply guys see a lot, they can walk you through a lot, and any of those wholesale places around here, they're worth walking into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a good.
Especially if you're looking for vendors.
Yeah.
That's where I'd start. If you're looking for a fence company, go to the fence supply shop.
Sure. And also, I mean, I would say like on this, just like other investors, right? Not being scared to go out and reach and ask others on their experiences. I've found most people will share anything you want to ask. You just got to be the one to go and ask. Those that don't, screw them. I don't want to hang out with them anyway.
Anybody know any good estate attorneys?
I just got a few references because I was just asking about that. So I have two I've not.
Yeah.
Had conversations. I don't
This
know.
was
I
the difference
literally
between
just
estate
got.
versus probate.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
probably
probably
the
the
same.
same.
Your
I mean,
estate
it's-
attorney would be like estate
Yes,
planning and
the
probate
attorney
comes in when you die.
Yeah,
Fantastic, thank you.
I know probate.
They're both good. I mean, the probate, depending on, it just depends on who's control, who would be more likely to control a transaction, probate attorney or the estate attorney?
Depends.
Yeah.
Depends
Yeah.
on-
Depends on if the
how it's
person's
settled,
there,
right?
you
How
know,
it's
folks
settled.
on, so the-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had probate attorneys, come in and just completely run the show when it comes to a closing, because they got, they've had a hearing, they have a court order, and they said, this is how it has to go, at that point. it's just kind of
Yeah.
Hands off.
Yeah.
So whatever the judge says, I do.
Sure,
So I don't know, it would depend, but I deal with mostly probate attorneys kind of coming in and running the closings at that point.
sure. But there's a great source of potential business, right? Of potential deals for you.
Probably also depends if they had a will or not.
Yeah.
You're right.
Because normally with the estate planning, there's no judge involved at that point, but with probate, there is a judge involved, so the judge starts telling people what to do. So I guess I could say probate attorney probably had more control at that point.
Divorce attorneys, right? We talked about this in our motivated sellers, right? You can find it's circumstance, right? So divorce, family growth, death, those are all events that drive real estate business.
Yeah, really huge straight people to get connected with. Yeah, so thinking to yourself, I kind of passed out earlier, there's like a memory jogger. I've got one in the back, so I'll make sure to get around, but it's really just in thinking around of who do I know in some of these either varying trades, could be as simple as things of just like, who's my doctor, who's the car mechanic that I know. These are all people that you should be in some kind of relationship with. In terms of creating opportunity to help them, which in turn will come back to you, right? It's all about being just that, mentioned, it's just that node of communication and be able to help around.
So pull this out real fast. I'm curious
Yeah.
here, right? Scan through, what's a category you wouldn't think of? Okay, so what jumps out at you? I see you got it open.
I haven't read it on here, but when Cory was passing out, he said, you're a baker, and I was really wondering who had a baker.
My daughter.
My
Okay.
magpies
But
is
yeah,
awesome.
The great thing
Oh,
is
yes,
it makes you
that's
think
true.
they're the best.
My kids are making cookies and we.
There you go.
I should have
Okay.
probably
There you
finished.
go. All right.
Well, that's the answer to the numerous jobs, though, because, you were thinking about somebody that bakes. I was thinking about Krispy Kreme. because,
Sure.
You know, and, there's
No,
different,
But it's a good question, because if you're having a meeting and you need, someone who just can provide snacks or something like that, catering.
Handmade
it's good to
bagels.
know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad I brought some.
some value.
Yeah, some value.
I love it.
I like those ones too, just like the Mary Kay wraps.
Sure, what about you, Jessica? Which of these jump out at you?
For me, what was it that stuck out? Your forest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You're a small business, you wanna support other small businesses, one of the things that has driven me crazy. I didn't love. Go ahead, no, go on.
Like, who do you buy gas from? What's that, like Food City or?
Or just knowing, like, if you have like a local spot, like,
like the
near my,
market or-
near my old house, there's a small little like independent gas station, right? It's run by
And
two
know
guys.
Yeah.
And I know the two guys, it's Mike and Ron, who run that gas station. And I just would get in conversation with them, go pop in the morning, grab coffee, gas, what have you. And it led to a commercial referral like a year ago, because I just like popped in. One of his sign was like trash. So I was like, I mean, who do you know? Like, do you guys need somebody to like help get your sign fixed? Yeah, cool, got that, helped them there. I'm like, are you guys looking for curiosity? You guys looking to expand? Like, are you looking for other gas stations, other areas like opportunities? Actually said, yeah, right. And I just connected them with like a commercial agent that was in commercial at the time. And they went out and went shopping, started to expand. So, I mean, you see some of those people every day, right? The person at Weigel's, whatever.
Yeah, but still,
Weigel's every day.
every time I go to Costco, the exact same guy, he was bald headed and has a beard, is out there. It's my fault for not talking to him.
So, kind of thoughts, yeah.
I was gonna say, for heating and cooling, I had a really good guy, because we had like 5 guys come to go look at our whole system.
Sure.
Every single one except for one, this guy told us, yeah, I could sell you a brand new unit, but why don't we just go and make sure this thing's running in general? And if it's running just fine, we'd be perfectly fine. Spend the money on remodeling the house and whatever work we need to go and do. And we'll help keep this thing running. When you're ready to get in, just give me a call. Let me know. It's the fact that he didn't try to sell me
Yeah.
a $15,000 system. Instead, he said, hey, let's do this and just keep it going.
Awesome. So, yeah, you got a trustworthy advocate there.
He's a mom and pop, like literally, we couldn't get out to them to send them the check. She actually came out to us and pick up the check.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, it's a family ran business. They have maybe like the moment maybe 10 guys. It's still small, but they're good.
Awesome.
We like them.
Which jumped out for you?
So you mentioned gas. Some people need propane refills, so it's not just car gas, it's also just, for housing.
Sure.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. We have propane, but we don't get it filled that often.
Yeah, but if you're renovating houses, maybe you will need a refill, but also the florist. Just networking with people. If you know someone is having a hard time in their life, send them flowers, or if they have a huge accomplishment, it reminds them that you're there and that you're supporting them. And so that goes along with networking.
So, who's the best salesperson you know? Who sells Pampered Chef, Mary Kay, Arbonne,
Cutco.
right? Those people naturally have networks. Who's the most enthusiastic person you know, right? What this is you should be, yeah, anytime you spend money with the business, know what you're looking for and ask how you can help them. There's an entire script for this. We can run through this. Basically, when I meet with any sort of small business, I'm trying to get in a conversation with that person and find out what their goals are and ask them if they want to expand, ask them how they started, right? Because I'm naturally curious, and we put ourselves in a position where there's also a way to capture that lots of different ways besides just investing. That's why being an agent investor is, I think, one of the better options you can do, right?
Yeah.
We can generate commercial business. So I'm always talking to small business owners. And small business owners need lots of advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody in that space is.
I was gonna say, I forgot, but thank you for reminding me. any tips on how to run a small business efficiently would be great. Cause I'm just kind of swimming and seeing what
Yeah.
happens.
Sure, yeah, come to some of our business planning stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, really,
Yeah,
a lot of it's applicable.
I was
Let's
about to
talk
say,
afterwards.
just the MREA, just
Yeah,
the million real
Absolutely.
estate agent, just literally take that and instead of.
Yeah.
real
just take
estate
the
agent
words
stuff,
real estate agent out of it.
Yeah, steal the expense planning, work it backwards, do the
Budget
GM.
model, economic model.
I mean, there's some different stuff you'll wanna do for like amateur, but no, it would work really well.
Okay, is there a link or something where I can research this more?
We'll grab it
We'll get you.
afterwards, we'll get you a ton of stuff, more stuff than you're gonna want.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
What's that?
More than one, is that a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you
Yeah, totally. We'll talk about just kind of where you find these people. Part of this is a cheat code in the sense of what you're doing here today, right? Is getting in the room and getting connected with people. I mean, that's really how you can oftentimes find people, just get into networking groups, right? Things like this, real estate networking groups, or just otherwise like socially, using platforms like meetup.com to search for common interests and then go networking in those groups, creating relationships that then might translate to other areas of opportunity.
Who accepts friend requests from people they don't know on Facebook? Anybody?
Well, I used to.
Yeah.
I view their profile.
Now I'm tapped out.
Yeah, you're capped out.
Yeah, if they're,
Friends.
they're like weird with stuff, then I'm out.
Sure. But
That's right,
So
keep
it's
one
the
mutual
time.
friend in.
Yeah, I like to say, if I have like 5 people in common with them, I'll say yes.
okay, and after you accept it, what's the next step?
Like, they have to see my life.
There you
I
go.
probably never look at them.
Yeah. So I'm gonna encourage you to add one step. Anytime you add them, reach out to that person. Everyone that I add, I reach out to them. I'll send them a video, or I'll send them a text, or I ask them something like, what's going on in their life? Because hey, why do you wanna be friends with me if you wanna talk to me? I don't really want you to know what I'm
Oh,
doing.
Lord. See, if they do that, then I unfriend them. I just want them to be there.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to you.
That's why we're online.
Yeah.
I just want to see your
Yeah,
picture.
I don't wanna take it creepy like that. It's like,
But if you're trying to build a network, you're trying to build opportunity for that. I'm trying to attract people like me, right? And I'm a golden retriever. I want to know everybody in the room, who you are we gonna be friends? What's going on? Who's got snacks? Yeah,
Do you use Facebook more than LinkedIn?
yes. I don't even have a LinkedIn profile. I don't know if that's not like a strategy or anything, I just don't.
Do you ever, does anybody find Instagram helpful for anything?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm very
I've actually
confused
heard
with it.
stories of where people have gotten deals off of Instagram.
Instagram, if you're DMing people, is the best way to meet almost
I
anyone.
heard a little, I found a little hack about that, say they don't respond, you can actually supposedly delete it, where it doesn't show up, like if they haven't read it or something like that, delete it and then resend it. So it looks like you're not constantly spamming them.
You could, I mean, I think it's more like, I take it back to a higher level concept, of like who am I trying to meet or what I'm trying to do. These are people that are in my world that are asking to be, they're coming to my world. So they're coming to my world, like that's my opportunity to get in a relationship with them. Like, why are you not talking to those people if you're in the business of trying to generate opportunities? Like great opportunities look like being in touch with Frankie and I know each other a lot of different ways, right? Frankie, like we're friends, been friends personally. I go to his house for the Super Bowl, and Frankie also is like a contractor, and then Frankie and Cory and I all go to lunch, like and like mastermind on there. Like I want to be in a relationship with people, like in multiple ways. So I got invited to come to some fundraiser and like pass my business card out to one of my friends. So that's all. I'm just encouraging you. You could do that. You could DM them. It just would
There's
be
more to go and like, more directed towards sales.
Yep.
That's what that method was actually. more
Yeah.
directed towards. So if you have like say an email list, go and do something like that through like, it's one of the little social media things.
It's all dependent on who you're targeting, what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Like you say, I'm on LinkedIn all the time because I'm professionally, I'm going, VPs of HR, chief legal officer, stuff like that, right? But if I'm doing something here locally, probably Facebook or Instagram would be more helpful than the LinkedIn because that it's a little more personal.
sure.
Also, Instagram, one of the reasons it's so popular is because it's visual. A lot of people respond to visual more than anything else, really. I mean, people are visual learners. what drives most of social media. And so if you have an Instagram account, if you're able to put your pictures of your brand business on there, it connects people on a different level.
I'm selling a house right now that a lady follows me on Instagram because she liked a dogwood picture that I snapped like 7 years ago. And, since then she started following and, she sent me a referral. Her friend, whatever, was ready to move.
I feel like I don't know, I'm kind of.
Can we table, because this is, not to
Sorry.
Yeah,
me,
let's go.
no, but like, I have a lot of thoughts on this, but it is, we gotta get a hold of the framework around social media, how we're using it, what the channels are, what your messages are. And it's, otherwise we get too lost in like tactics, where it's like, and not, like, what's the vision? But I'll grab you afterwards, I got some ideas for it.
There's some good ones. Really, when it comes just to like staying in touch,
Yes, how are you staying in touch with your attitude network?
yeah, step one, I mean, face to face or voice to voice, phone call, really as simple as just calling to say, hey, how are you? How's life? What's going on, right? What's happening in your world there? And just continually being in touch and relation. There was another piece I'd handed out, which is just a schedule. We have it in like real estate. I mean, it's really the way I use to stay in touch with my database. Is this what we call it kind of the DTD2 schedule, which just breaks out the alphabet into like 13 letter groups. So in your CRM, your client relations management tool, we'll talk about that in a second. You can kind of just tag your people. So basically each week I will call through my database with people that their last names say start with A and W, B and D and O. Each week I have that letter group that I just will call to touch base just to say, hi, how are you? And it's a good, easy, straightforward, systematic way to create at least 4 conversations a year, voice to voice. This can be layered on top of any maybe email production or things like that, or emails that you're sending out, however it'll touch. But calls is always going to be the best. Face to face and then voice to voice.
3-month period.
Correct. So it just cycles every quarter. So every quarter I'm talking to them at least once.
It feels strange to anyone to have a system to keep in touch with people. No one, all these people, everyone loves talking on the phone here. People that say you join on social, don't talk to them. Okay, let's be honest. I
It
know
doesn't
we're
seem
weirdos.
strange that it seems uncomfortable.
There we go.
and
Sure.
A lot of time and to remember to do it because.
Sure.
You want to have a nice conversation with somebody, a sincere conversation,
Yeah.
but if you feel like you're just doing it because you have to.
Well, so my grandma, I used to get a Christmas card from her. Everyone got a Christmas card from her. My grandparents were like the matriarch and patriarch of a large group of family. My grandfather was the vice president for a Johnson & Johnson division. And and she had a recipe box. So the month before, she bought all the cards for September and they all went out September 1st. Everyone had a September birthday. No one got missed, right? And she babysat kids and stayed in touch with them for 13 years. Like that was her DTD2. That was her system, right? She had the recipe box system. And I never once was like, that's so artificial. My grandma's love. Like I got a card every time. Right?
My kid's second grade teacher sends them Christmas cards or I think Christmas cards and we got one a couple of years ago. And they're 19 and 17 now.
Wow.
I'm sure she has a system for doing that. She
Yes.
doesn't just, she's just not afraid.
Interns.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
So it's not about,
She's retired now.
Yeah.
so that's one way is just saying, we can get into like but just saying and making phone calls. I would say phone call, video text. Like can work, right?
Do you find it maybe would be helpful even to make notes? Because I feel like
Yes.
I get like a mix of people that don't want to talk on the phone.
Sure.
They just want to message,
Yep.
so like,
Yeah, so like in terms of if we're referencing or talking about like, how you're say
Yeah.
managing that contact or that relationship, then
Yes.
certainly, yeah, you
100%.
making notes in that, right? Yeah, just how are we currently managing
Yep.
a database. Oh, yeah, that's the
So let's run through these and we'll go into that.
Sure.
We'll do it really fast. Lunch, coffee, take people there. Be deliberate about that. If you want to level it up, what you do is invite one person to coffee from 12 to 12:30, invite someone they should meet from 12:30 to 1, and be the person making the intro. Learned that from a guy whose whole business is just based off of who can you know in the real estate business, where you get one-to-many conversations. So his database is full of estate attorneys, accountants, divorce attorneys, like who would you need to know, financial planners, right? Where he's the hub, making those connections between them, and they're all potential sources that can give him more than one piece of business. So he stacks it like that. Yeah, taking lunch and coffee with people, right? And do this with people that.
His name.
Yeah.
What's
They're
up?
great, but Michael Mayer.
Michael Mayer, 7 levels of communication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, this is what's the other one, never eat lunch alone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Great
Boom.
books.
What else, Cory? What else can you do?
Email, newsletter, physical mail. All those things are just ways that you can look out to just provide pieces of value.
Yes. If you don't know what to do, if you find something you think is of interest right now, you send that thing, keep it to 3 lines. Hey, I saw this and I thought it might be valuable to you. How are you doing? That's it. Keep it really, really, really simple.
I
Do
think,
cat videos count?
Yes.
Totally.
I was
Yes.
gonna say, I really
send all the cat
My friend-
I think, I don't know, I don't want to speak for the whole millennial generation, but I feel like when I receive a handwritten card, I keep it for
Yeah.
at least 3 or 4 months.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Just because I'm like, I can't throw this away. Somebody wrote this and gave it to me. Now, in 3 or 4 months, I'm like, trash. But I like it.
Yeah.
Because very rare do I get.
No, I'm saying that. I like a nice card.
I think phone calls, I mean, I'm finding now that phone calls are more important than emails or whatever, because nobody will look at your email. And so, I mean, I had one today, I had to call the IRS I got a meeting on Friday with them. But it's just because I picked up the phone, I was like, hey, can we talk? She's like, sure, so you need the email.
Sure.
So, call.
If you're uncomfortable with phone calls, you should give yourself a script. We can talk about that after, right? Of just like what this is. Hey, I was just thinking about you, right? I've been trying to stay more in touch with people, and I was just calling to see like what's the best thing to happen to you recently. Fantastic, great. Hey, thanks so much. Great
I worry
talking.
about time of day, all the things I worry about is like stupid stuff.
There's
Like,
just-
am I gonna
Limiting
bother them,
beliefs.
are they gonna answer, are they not, do I leave a message,
Well, you might bother them, but they're not people that you're gonna be able to deliberately stay in contact with at a rate that's high enough to produce results for you.
Well, and too, even if there's that risk, right, that maybe they won't talk to you more.
You can-
Well, I mean,
Okay.
even if that's the case, like you want to foster connection, but want to connect to you too, right? And so that's okay to like learn.
That's how Cory met me, is he cold called me.
I just cold called you.
It was July day, kicked the phone, hey, you wanna sell a house? And I was like, not really, and we got talking, we sat there talking, I'll talk to you guys.
Yeah.
The issue, but
There's probably a
honestly,
negotiating style that,
yeah,
what
but,
are those cooperators, the negotiating style?
but I mean, it turned into, he sold my house, bought this house that I'm living in.
Yep.
I've given you a couple of referrals.
Yep.
And at some point I'll pull the trigger on real estate, but one thing to tell me is you get a lot of people who will not pick up the phone, some people hang up, some people are nice, and some people will be F you. Hang up. Right.
And it's
Just
so
doesn't matter.
stupid
Yeah.
though, for me to feel that way because they don't see me, but I'll go out in the public parking lot like I did it Sunday, and I'm like, hey, I'm so-and-so, and I'm just trying to meet people, but it's the face-to-face, I'm better with that than
Sure.
that.
I don't
Because
think,
you
I
can-
don't think you're stupid.
Yeah, you can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're pretty normal.
I think
Damien said he's scared of loss, right? That is a universal human emotion. It's why people in the suburbs are way, way more scared than people that have less, because they have more to lose. Which explains a ton about the country we live in. People, fear of loss is a much bigger motivator than fear of gain. You don't like making phone calls. That's the culture, right?
Yeah.
The culture is overwhelmingly like, don't call me.
Yeah,
this
people
could
don't
have
talk on the
been
phone anymore.
Sure.
also, people communicate mostly by body language.
Right.
And so that might be some of your trepidation is you're more comfortable communicating
Says
through body language. And so maybe you could just say, hey, I'd like to talk, could you set up a video chat or meet in person sometime rather than always doing it on the phone.
Yeah, I don't wanna get to, some of the stuff, there's nuances to everything. We could do a whole class about making phone calls, and I have, and I've been an inside sales agent. And I'll tell you, the only way you can do that is just, A, they're not gonna answer necessarily. B, they will notice that you called, and when they're interested, they'll pick back up. And it just depends on what the purpose of all this stuff this stuff is. If you're calling your database, you're calling people that know, like, and trust you probably. And sometimes they don't answer and I just send them a text message that just says, hey, no need to respond, I was just thinking of it. And that's how
it's amazing.
And I got 9 names and I'm like, I would rather get.
Right.
There's want all the attention.
Yeah.
So if we just sit down for 5 minutes and listen to somebody, like, I actually, before I went back into utilities, I was in sales and going back in sales. I literally sat in this guy's house, it seemed like for 3 hours just listening to him talk. He didn't buy from us,
Sure.
but just sitting there, and he was extremely grateful, and I think he ended up buying from us like after, just because I sat there and talked to him.
Who's an investor that has it? Don, do you have a database?
A contact database?
Yes.
I have a stack of business cards, and I'm looking for an app where I can scan those and sort them, so I have a database. I'm actually looking for that app.
Okay. Anybody else who's not like a real estate agent have a database to keep track of people?
I do.
Mainly just.
Everybody does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jason's got that one, right? You've got a phone, you keep notes.
Yeah, Facebook, you need to.
Yeah, that's right. Like an Excel program, my brother, he actually loves doing Excel stuff,
Sure.
so.
Yeah.
I think there's some more robust
And it gives you-
tools that you can probably use.
Plug it in like your little search.
Yes.
So, you wanna know this, Cory? You want me to nerd out on this?
Oh, no, I mean, I'm happy to kind of jump onto a couple of things. I mean, really, you just need to create what we call like a CRM, right? Just your client relationship management tool, that's at least gonna give you a systematic way to stay in touch with people. I mean, this could be very simple as just a recipe card book, right? Or an Excel spreadsheet, or certainly then there's a number of different Google plugins for programs that you can.
I wouldn't use an Excel spreadsheet. That's not gonna be practical long term for a CRM probably. There's a number of Gmail add-ons.
Sure.
Salesforce has one, Folio, there's some that live right within your Gmail that you could use, just borrow a professional Salesforce.
Do you have a proprietary for Keller Williams, or what do you use?
We do.
Yeah, KW has like a proprietary one.
It doesn't matter. I mean, I say this as, I think I might have more nerd on this than almost anyone I know. I've been in the background, I've been in operations, I've been an assistant, and I've used all these different systems. They all work the same place. You've got some sort of a record. You know, the good ones will have some sort of like reminder system built into them, and they'll have some way to track your associated communications with that person. So when you pull them up, just like in your email, you can do this, right? If I search my contact in my Gmail, I can see all my conversations that I have with Danny in one spot. I just want to have one that maybe will log phone calls, and then I can easily put notes into when I talk to them.
HubSpot. I think HubSpot tracks open rates and
Sure.
all of
But any
those metrics.
CRM you could get into, we can get into weeds, it's just having any of them though. The Excel spreadsheet could work too, it's just less likely you're gonna use it on your phone and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So the ones that live in my email are like Salesforce and stuff that pop up, those are pretty. Our pipeline, Pipedrive, you know, you can use Trello,
Trello, huge.
I think I've done the biggest one there.
Yeah, in terms of just like a way to quickly sort it out. Really you just need that space that you can always go back to reference. And when was the last time I talked to this person? What do we talk about? Set a reminder for yourself. Hey, call this person in 2 weeks, month, what have you.
And when it comes to the specifics of ours, Cory's a trainer. Cory's amazing at using this and using automated plans and using, do you ever feel like Cory's being fake with you, Damien?
Oh, I know he is.
But just of having like a structured plan of on.
So
Yeah.
your
my quarterly call.
text that went out to.
Yeah, there you go.
Grid meeting,
Yeah,
that was definitely automated.
that was to a point automated, yes.
But
That
you scripted it. You
I did.
literally scripted it.
Yep, I did. That was through a system I use called Hit 'em Up.
That was automated, that was just.
That was individual. I mean, I
Using
can automate it
technology
through my
to send
my
the
laptop.
group text.
Yeah, that's essentially just one word copies and pastes. So I'll create a list, right, like say grid members, and then through that, it will automatically bring up through my messenger. And then I can just like click to send if I want what I pre-wrote, or if it's say, we just finished talking, I might not send him the generic one. It'll be kind of a follow-up to what we were just talking about. And here's that. So that's a pretty neat little app tool.
Who in here is interested in investing in real estate? Is everybody trying to buy eventually down the road? Who in here is a salesperson? You're all salespeople? You say no?
I'm not a salesperson.
Okay, what's a salesperson?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It's a salesperson.
Yeah,
Trying to get people to buy what you're selling. So
you don't want someone to buy what you're selling?
I'm hiring you guys to buy what I'm selling.
Yeah. Are you
Right.
not? Yeah,
Okay, yes, I am trying to get someone to buy, to come in. I've had 3 people come in to bid on this kitchen install. No one's bidding, so yeah, they're not buying what I'm selling,
you're not selling them on the job.
right? I'm
You're
not
selling them on the
on the job.
opportunity that might be in your own. You're a salesperson. You are. And the biggest change I had in my career with you was when I started calling myself a salesperson. I was like, I don't want to be a salesperson. What it really means is I don't want to be sleazy. I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to be a skunk. Those are not synonymous, right?
Yeah.
They're not. And I think either of us, that's not what we get accused is probably
Yeah,
too
the
friendly,
Yeah,
too interested in talking, not getting into business, probably where we fall in that thing. But it is like, if I'm a professional salesperson, I'm professionally trying to what are your needs? How can I fix them? It's the other day, right? Like, I'm looking for people that I can provide solutions to from an investor. I'm looking for people that are in some sort of situation where they need, right? Where I can provide a solution to them, ideally. Like they want the quick cash because it's the best thing for them. And they know they have other options, and they still take the quick cash. That's what I can sleep fine at night.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, I got them. They didn't know. I took advantage of this old lady, and she just called Cory. She would have sold her house for double. That's what I think it looks like from a non-professional salesperson. So I think that's might be just one of those pieces. And whatever this is, if you're a professional salesperson and I'm looking for opportunity, I have to way to systematically look for opportunity to generate. Whatever that looks like. If I want to do this kind of consistently, like how am I just staying in touch with my people? And that could be a small list of your team, but it should be your team of people. Maybe it's not everyone you know, but your landscaper and your attorney and your photographer, right? You think any of them are gonna feel like you're being disingenuous if you're talking business with them once a month?
yeah. My barber, I love going deep on this. My barber,
I love it.
haircut,
My barber.
My barber's not there.
You guys barber.
Had but no, my barber's referred me to few people actually too. Just through every time we go in there, it's man, how's business? What do you got going on? Are you turning people away? Yeah, awesome. So you should have hired somebody 2 months ago. Let's get somebody here now. He did that, right? He's got his next guy coming in, so it's working.
The craziest example that I've seen of that is my wife's father was a scientist at Oak Ridge, wrote 200 scientific papers and worked on fuel economy for 20 years. But every time that the political administration changed, he had to sell it from Reagan to Clinton to, he's selling the exact same business that he's doing, but, for these guys, it supported the war effort. For these guys, it supported fuel economy and getting greener, and it was just interesting how you're doing the exact same thing, but whoever your audience is gets that spin.
Mhm. I mean, and I think about that because I stay in touch with people and really has nothing to do with business. I just know Lauren is here, right? Because you meet her at Power Up? Is that where you come to? But we do this
Yeah,
stuff.
it was Power Up. I think you talked and I
Sure.
heard about her and I didn't know what it was and I
Yeah.
should have.
Fantastic. Go to find opportunities to talk to other people, try to help them, stay engaged with people. What's going on in your world? How are you doing? How can we help you? And eventually somehow that all turns into something effective, I find. But really it's just having I'm very curious about what's going on with people. And so the way this got presented to us, if you go to that thing at New York there at the New Camp, this guy did this door knocking one. And I want to talk about it because it seems like that might be the biggest thing for the build the dream team is I feel like I'm bothering people. He was like, what's on the other side of that door? He went door knock. Because he was talking about someone on the other side needs your help. I met this woman, I sold her house, I made a deal with her. She's like, you gotta stop smoking. I want to get your house painted, I want to get the ozone machine cleaned up, but you gotta stop smoking in there, Miss Ruth. And you gotta smoke outside. And she quit smoking. And now she's around. And that's for him when he thinks about it. He's like, maybe I'm gonna meet Miss Ruth and she's gonna quit smoking. And I find when we do this stuff, our friend Angie, we just sold this house. she asked me to buy our house cash. Who do we know that could buy our house cash? You know, so I was trying to shop it around. Corey was shopping at some of his investors, right? And then we got on the phone, we were talking, and then the hard money guy called me, the Steve Levine is here. I thought we should all do it together. And Angie's in Myrtle Beach now. Angie's posted 90 sunsets in 90 days. She's living her dream, and she's like, "Hope you guys make a lot of money." Have fun. You know, she's like, congratulating us on making money. I think that's what it should look like. Is who could you possibly help?
Yeah.
Just I got my soapbox.
No, I love it. Just who's on the other side of the door.
Monthly emails.
Yeah, being able to get out at least like one monthly email, for consistency's sake, rather showing up. Really just making sure that you pop up as top of mind. When that topic, say if you're looking for deals or mention somebody, hey, well, I help solve problems for anybody. So if you're coming across somebody in the spot, appreciate if you think of me. It's an easy way just to create a conversation and passively ask for business. And then just showing up right once, twice a month in like an email inbox, even if it's deleted. You said like, right, a lot of people don't, but it still showed up in your subject line. Like, even that in and of itself is a
Just top of mind.
yeah.
Heart share, mind share, market share, and then layering that with texts or running into in person, if that's what you're best at, or phone calls.
Yeah, doing
Just so
that.
you're touching them 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
Affiliate relationships.
so what you can do, if you're trying to go to level this up, let's say you're a stage real estate developer, it's a year from now and you're sharing your coaching products because you've been so successful, is are there complementary products or services on your website and in your market? So you could do an affiliate relationship. Or do you set something up, where, hey, if you send someone to me, right, I'll give you a referral. You're a small business, you can do whatever you want. It's not like real estate. You could pay anybody like a headhunting fee to send your business, right? So, hey, everyone that gets referred to me, I will buy you lunch or Starbucks or send you a check, whatever that is, right? Those are the things you can do to add on. Links to partner companies from your website to driving there. So that could look like, you can go deep on that. It just depends on what you're doing. If anyone's in it there. It might be like affiliate marketing, might be stuff like courses.
Sure. Even just marketing service, pretty much kind of thing, right? Having those referral relationships, partnering with, say, a lending or title company or a complementary business to what you're doing, that you can collectively kind of pool your resources.
Does anybody use any affiliate marketing? Does anyone ever like have an Amazon link where they send something and they get some sort of revenue back off of that?
I tried it, but it's
Yeah.
never fleshed it out.
Okay. How can you generate extra revenue or help a partner's business by promoting useful services and sending referrals, right? Do you think if Guy runs across the deal, she's gonna think of the person sending the most business? Possibly. Yeah, what can I do to generate some landscape business? Giver's gain, right? Yeah, what this one, Cory?
Who have your contact suppliers, partners, and others support you with link backs and other promotions.
Sure.
Yeah, that's that same
Mhm.
giver's gain, right? You're the one kind of providing them the most value. In turn,
I
probably
think
like
if
to
you
show up.
set the expectation of when you go in and start working with somebody, like you were talking about framers and things, and just say, listen, I'm always on the lookout to create an affiliate partnership. If you do a good job and we're a fit, this could, multiply into more.
Sure.
And I think just going in and setting the expectation on the front end would probably, maybe make them work a little bit harder
Right,
or
more
whatever.
effort, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and this could look something as simple as, we were doing an open house. We got off of like run around hustling, because I lived in a neighborhood. They saw me on Facebook, right? I'm intentionally on there. Reached out to come list me. I asked Cory to help me because I need help, right? The partnership, so we split that one. So Cory come in and run this with me. Instead too much on my plate. Because I'm just saying, I'm a big believer in partnership, even myself. I'll make less money, but you make more long term. And we got an ice cream truck, right? That we got through another partner, another agent gave us his connection for the ice cream truck. We got a musician through Rob. Rob gave us a musician. We did a pop-up boutique, so I invited some people that I know that are artists. That's they wanted to come down there and set up shop there. Give some borrow their audience and help them, you know, sort of in relationship with them, sorry. And then, have some gardeners come and like talk about the garden that we had there. Trying to be intentional of like, how many different audiences and spheres can we get in front of? And how many people can we like help to create this event where they can come in and talk about the thing they're passionate about?
Yeah.
So they can look something like that on a small scale. If we're not at it, like what they're using backlinks and all this stuff for, I don't think anyone's doing it there. But that could look like, well.
Did you get an offer?
So, yeah, we saw
Yeah,
it.
sold it.
You already sold it.
Well, we're under contract.
Yeah.
So like.
Yeah.
Well,
knock on
yeah.
wood, right?
Or sold it.
Yeah, we sold it.
Hashtag,
Really cute.
hashtag dream team.
Yeah, that was a good one for sure. That was a fun open house. That was a lot.
That was a great time.
Really.
Yeah.
That sounds like a party.
It was,
It
I mean, it was a
It
porch
was.
party really in Park Ridge.
They
was
had
fun.
drinks and beer on the stuff in there.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Free ice cream.
Free ice cream.
Free ice cream.
out of town.
Unicorn.
I just got on
Well,